Hello, good afternoon. My name is Natalia Hayes. I'm joined with Taryn Plater and Jacob Isaac to present our project on enforcing tenant relocation rights with our catalog of tools for BC municipalities. Adding to the urgent and intensifying housing crisis, BC also holds the unfortunate title of being Canada's leader in no-fault evictions. Most often, these evictions serve no purpose other than for landlords to reclaim their properties and maximize profits. While property owners enjoy the benefits of long-term or of stronger legal protections, financial assistance, and stability, renters have never been left at more of a disadvantage. The reality is that redevelopment is necessary for both preserving and increasing our supply of rental housing. Recognizing this, municipalities must equip themselves with the right tools and legal safeguards for renters that go beyond mere recommendations. Now, municipalities rely on their tenant relocation and protection policies, or TRPPs, to mitigate the negative impacts of redevelopment on tenants. But the effectiveness of these policies heavily depends on their enforcement. And our research has shown that municipalities in the region really need to increase their efforts in this area. So that is why, in partnership with the Tenant Resources Advisory Centre, our project presents a catalog of 6 vital enforcement tools that municipalities can use to ensure compliance of their TRPPs and enhance developer accountability during redevelopment. Our catalog provides a snapshot of each tool through a visual summary that offers a definition, key findings, enabling conditions, implementation pathways, and equity considerations. Then, within each chapter, you can learn about the tools in much more detail by reading through our discussion and analysis of current applications of the tools.
So the 6 tools that we've selected are permit holds, mandatory meetings, tenant relocation coordinators, or TRCs, financial assurance, rental licensing, and overlay zones. In researching the current applications of these 6 tools, both within and beyond BC, and in speaking with municipal staff, it has become absolutely clear to us that there is no one-size-fits-all solution to TRPP enforcement. Certain tools require certain enabling conditions in order to be implemented and to be effective. Much of TRPP enforcement is a matter of will, but at the same time, we recognize that the selection of enforcement tools has to consider a variety of context-specific factors, like the legal context, the stock of local housing supply, and the capacity and supply of staff with specialized skill sets. When considering our catalog of tools, it's important to consider your unique municipal context, as well as to note that these tools can and should be combined. So as an example, financial assurance is one of the tools we've identified. Financial assurance is a tool where a municipality can use a financial instrument like a letter of credit to ensure that the cost of relocating tenants is footed by the developer as per the TRPP. This is a very strong on the financial side, but it doesn't necessarily address the availability of temporary housing. So in a local context like Vancouver's with a very low vacancy rate, this tool might be combined with something like overlay zones, because overlay zones, as our tool puts it forward, can help to increase the supply of temporary housing for tenants impacted by redevelopment. The key to robust long-term enforcement is to consider how and which tools to implement and when. So your local political context might support some of the more straightforward tools like these 3, but that can open the door to more ambitious measures in the future.
The enforcement pathways identified in our research show that municipalities have the capacity to protect tenants. The conditions which they claim limit their enforcement of TRPPs, those very same conditions, are actually opportunities to put in place bold and expansive enforcement measures. If we are aware of these opportunities, and yet we choose not to act, it will be a damning indictment of our governments. That in a province which prides itself on progress and equality, we would allow such injustices to persist. But let me be clear, this inaction would no longer be a matter of ignorance or incapability. The hands of municipalities are no longer tied. No, this inaction would be a matter of choice. But we believe that through our research, municipalities will come to recognize that the enforcement solutions we have identified are not only desirable, but viable, not only possible, but necessary. We trust their commitment towards ensuring that tenants' rights not only can be, but are freely exercised. And if we are right in these assumptions, then we should expect bold action in the future. And yet, we stand at a critical juncture. Our communities are under threat of callous indifference to the ongoing housing crisis. At this inflection point, the responsibility to confront the stark realities faced by tenants, to acknowledge the inherent power imbalances, and to take decisive action to protect our most vulnerable members rests on the shoulders of our municipal leaders. The time for action is now. We must rise to the occasion, not as passive observers, but as champions of justice. Through this project, we are proud to contribute solutions to the challenges of enforcing TRPPs. Let us enforce the relocation protections that tenants in this province so desperately need. Thank you.